Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. She damaged her daughters.
My sister was a drug baby.
Then left them.
I want to make amends. I feel awful.
You don't seem like you feel awful.
Now,
You can give her that condescending dismissal, but that doesn't work with me.
is she abandoning them again?
Letty says you pick addicts at the sober house over your own kids.
I already knew I was going to come on stage and get bashed. We can be done.
Two sisters, abandoned as babies, were bounced from family members' homes to foster care until eventually they were ripped apart from each other. This is younger sister Francesca. She suffers from liver disease, kidney disease, ovarian failure, hormonal imbalances, anorexia, and intellectual disabilities. Older sister Letty says she blames one person for their rough childhood. That's their own mother, Stephanie. Letty says it was her mother's selfish decisions that tore this family apart and damaged her and her sister forever. Take a look.
I started drinking and I started using methamphetamine at 14. The very first time I did methamphetamine, I snorted through my nose. I knew right then and there that I was a drug addict. I was instantly hooked on it. When I got pregnant with Letty, I was 19 years old. I didn't use crank that often. I did do cocaine. The night before I went into labor with her, the next day my bag broke and I went into labor at 7 months pregnant. When Letty was little, I had already started back with my addiction and using methamphetamine on a daily basis. Letty was 2 years old when I got pregnant with Francesca. I was out partying, I was drinking, having unprotected sex. By the time that I found out that I was pregnant with her, it was pretty much too far along. I wanted to abort her by overdoing it with lots of drugs, and it didn't work. By then, I was injecting it in my arm. Over the years, I lost the veins in my arms, and I had to resort to using my neck. I was constantly using, nonstop, just over and over and over. When I went into labor, I remembered that there was a lot of complications. I don't really remember too much because I was loaded, but I remember when Francesca was born, she had cirrhosis of the liver, chronic hepatitis C, enlarged spleen, she had bad kidneys, and slight mental retardation. The doctors said she would never crawl, walk, or talk. They told me she had fetal alcohol syndrome. I knew it wasn't alcohol syndrome. I knew it was from the methamphetamine, but I just kind of ran with that. I was ashamed. When I had 2 kids, it was overwhelming. The girls were in my way of getting loaded. When Letty was about 3 and Francesca was maybe about a year old, I decided I couldn't handle them anymore, and I pawned them off on my mom. So I told my mom, hey, I'll be back, and I took off.
Well, Stephanie chose drugs over her children all those years ago, and it's a choice that Letty and Francesca say they cannot forgive, and they certainly don't forget.
My sister and I call my grandparents Mama and Papa. My mother visited very sporadically. I would sit at the window all day and wait for her. My mother never came. When I was 9 and my sister Francesca was 7, we got taken away from our grandparents' house. We were put into foster care because my sister wasn't gaining enough weight. They thought that our grandparents weren't feeding her. But the truth is, my sister didn't gain any weight because she was a drug baby.
I've been in a lot of foster homes 7 times.
While Francesca and I were in foster care, I don't recall seeing my mother until I was 14.
I was sentenced to prison for possession of cells. When I got out of prison in 2001, I did get reunified with them, but I don't remember how. My brain is fried.
When my mom came back in my life, I thought she was a stranger to me because she wasn't in my life for a very, very long time.
My mother was very excited to see me, but I can't really say I felt a whole lot. My mother never apologized. She just acted like nothing really happened.
She has never apologized, not even once.
I wanted Dr. Phil to pull my mother's head out of her ass and make her realize what she's done to Francesca and I, because we've continually told her we don't need you. All you do is just cause chaos within our lives, and we're tired of it. We're so tired of it.
When I'm around Letty and Francesca, I feel like I owe them, and in reality, I don't think I do, because I think I've paid my price. I've changed my life to become a better mother for them, and they won't give me the chance.
Let me start with you, because I listened to the last thing you said in that tape piece there, and you said, I've paid my price, so they need to, what, move on? What,
No, absolutely not.
First off, what is the price that you've paid?
I did what I did in my past. I have made amends to them both. I have apologized several times. Their reply to me was, Mom, it's okay. You were young. We forgive you. Then the moment that I do something that they don't agree with, I'm a drug addict, I'm a low-life mother, and it's like, it's this repetitive cycle. It's like, they won't let me be a mom. I've been trying to be a mom to them for many years, and they want nothing to do with me. I've tried. What more can I do?
Wow.
I don't agree with her.
Well, chime right in, because I got a lot to say, but I want to hear from the two of you first. Let's get it on the table.
I have told you, you know, yes, it is in the past. You know, we can't change that, but it wasn't okay.
No, it wasn't.
And I've never told you that it was okay.
Okay.
I've just said, you know,
wait a minute. You can give her that condescending dismissal, but that doesn't work with me.
Well, she's lying.
I just want to know, look, here's the deal. You don't spin, you don't selectively recall, you don't make it sound better now that the bright light of day is being shown upon this. You tell the absolute, brutal, unvarnished truth. Now, one of you two is not doing that.
I can tell you exactly where I made my amends. You were living with your foster...
When you say amends, tell me define amends for me.
I apologize for the things that I have done to her in the past.
That sounds like you're checking off a box of a 12-step program.
Basically, yes, it is.
Well, this isn't about checking off a box. You know, those 12 steps are guidelines. They're to point you in a direction of doing something meaningful and genuine. Not saying, oh, I made amends and call it okay. You're a mother. These are your children.
Right.
They're not steps on a 12-step program, which I support completely. But it sounds to me like I'm hearing a lot of rehab speak.
I'm in recovery. I'm in recovery. You are hearing that.
Well, I want to hear from you. I don't want you to parrot back what you've heard bandied about. I want to know what you really think and feel about what happened with your daughters.
I feel awful.
Because you don't seem like you feel awful.
Well, I have my guard up. I already knew I was going to come on stage and I was going to get bashed. I already knew this. I was prepared for it. So, yeah, I have a wall up.
Well,
That's
take it
the
down.
past.
You want to be real or you want to keep your wall up?
I am being real. I am being real.
You just said I've got a wall up. I'm protecting myself.
Are we done then?
Can't be both.
We can be done.
Oh.
Here.
Lady, do
I
whatever
knew this was going to happen.
Do whatever you feel like you need to do.
Because she's in denial about a lot of things.
Her walking off speaks volumes to me about what she's doing. She gets asked 2 hard questions about getting genuine and runs for the hills.
Right.
That speaks volumes. What do you have to say about this?
I don't think she's going to change. She yells at me. She blames me for everything. She yells at my sister. She doesn't have any patience with herself.
Or anyone.
With anyone. And then it makes me mad. And I'm still mad at her for what she's done in the past. I don't think I'm going to ever stop being mad at her. And I just don't want her in my life anymore.
Well, I hope what you said is not true when you say, I don't think I'll ever not be mad at her. But I want to know how you feel about some of the things that I heard her say before she cowardly ran away. And if you're listening backstage, complaining to the producers, yes, I said cowardly, because that's exactly what I think. But, you know, I heard her say in there that her intention was to abort you.
It makes me very upset.
And, you know, she got all bent out of shape because she said you lied.
Right.
Did you lie?
No.
I'm going to give her an invitation to tell her story. I'm going to excuse you two, let her come out, tell me her story by herself. Then maybe I'll talk to y'all alone. Maybe we'll get back together again. If she chooses not to, then I got a lot to say to the two of you. So it'll be up to her. We'll be right back.
By the time I gave birth to Francesca, the water bag broke and the doctors kind of gasped. The water that was holding her was green.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Most of my rituals revolve around trying to make myself more attractive than my sister. Prettier than she am, prettier than she am, prettier than she am.
She's a beauty,
You consider yourself to have OCD.
but she thinks she's a beast.
As I'm talking to you, I'm saying, I will be prettier than my sister. I'm gonna be prettier. I'm gonna be prettier.
Now,
You didn't want to be on stage with your sister.
she'll confront her greatest fear.
Just come out.
Let's just bring her out.
My heart's racing. I can barely breathe.
Then on Thursday, police say her ex starved their son
He weighed 29 pounds.
and locked him in a closet.
His face was black and purple.
The exclusive story.
What did he tell you about the closet?
That's Thursday.
When I was pregnant with Francesca, I found an adoptive mother. So I kept saying, this isn't your baby, this isn't your baby, this isn't your baby. And I did a closure with her so that I wouldn't have any emotional feelings with her. By the time I gave birth to Francesca, the water bag broke and the doctors kind of gasped. The water that was holding her was green. She was very sick. The adoptive mother was in the room with me during labor, and she says, I don't want a sick baby, and she left. So I kind of got stuck with her, and to this day, I have yet to be able to get that bond back with her.
Now, I started the show with the three of them out here. Stephanie, the mother, Letty, and Francesca, the daughters. Stephanie, the mother, took umbrage to the questions I was asking her and saying that her daughter was just out here bashing her and lying about her. So she left upset. Now, my good friend Troy Dunn is here today. I've had him involved to help me with this damaged family. You may recognize Troy as the locator, the man who reunites fractured families. And I've been stretching him way out of that lane, not just getting people that have lost contact in the world with each other, but also those that have lost contact even though they see each other, even though they're in each other's lives. So he does the locating and a whole lot more. Take a look.
I only want to strengthen families.
You did a great thing bringing these people back together, Troy.
I love the opportunity of taking two opposing sides and bringing them together and finding some sort of common ground. I have come on behalf of your daughters.
I'm not it isn't meant to hurt you.
Sometimes it ends up in a fairy tale ending. I am so thankful to be able to tell you he's here. When I identified myself and explained to her why I was calling, she didn't speak, she wept. I believe that you cannot find peace until you find all the pieces.
I apologize.
Stephanie, that's all right. You can go back where you were. Troy, have a seat right here. What do you say, buddy?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Why did you leave?
I was angry.
Well,
My feelings
I know
were
that.
hurt.
What were you angry about?
I'm scared. I'm in front of all these people. I want to cry. I'm angry that you told me that about my recovery. My recovery is very detrimental to me, and that's how I learned to live life on life's terms. And those are my coping skills. And if it takes a sponsor to tell me how I need to talk to my children, then I'm going to listen to her because I'm trying to save my life right now. And I want to make amends to my children the proper way, however that may be. They won't let me, Dr. Phil.
I assume it was just a slip when you said my recovery is detrimental to me.
What do you mean?
Detrimental would be bad. That would be negative.
Okay.
My recovery
Then I'm
is
not
bad
thinking
for me.
right.
Well,
It's
that's why I was wondering.
the opposite.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It helps me. I need my 12 steps. If I don't have it, I might as well go get loaded.
Yeah. Well, you know what you do with 12 steps? You work the 12 steps. Work the 12 steps. W-O-R-K. You work the 12 steps. And when you are dealing with family members who you have set up, one of them set up for a life of pain, misery, and destruction. You know how long you work that?
For the rest of my
You
life.
work it until. You don't work it for a week or a month or an hour or a year. You work it until. You work it until you have made amends. You don't work it until it feels right to you. You work it until peace has been claimed in some way. And if whoever's running your recovery hasn't taught you that, then tell them I said they left out a piece. Tell them I said they left out a piece.
I get it.
I'm a huge proponent of the 12-step program, and I know the difference between somebody that's white-knuckle checking off the boxes and somebody who's making a genuine attempt to work the program. And I had especially selected Troy to be involved in this because I know you need an ally. I know you need help. I know you need all the support that you can get, as do your girls. And Troy has written a brilliant new book. It's called Family, the Good F Word, the life-changing action plan for building your best family. When you talked to me about this a year ago, and so my son owns a publishing company, Bird Street Books. I got him after Troy, and he wound up publishing his book instead of somebody else. Troy knows a lot about family. He's been married to his high school sweetheart, Jennifer, who I also know, for 27 years. And together they've raised 8 beautiful children. So he knows a bit about maintaining a family, and he has children that do have challenges, that do have issues that you have to deal with. I mean, you have 8 children. Each one is individual, and she's facing some challenges right now.
One of the things I teach in the book is do not believe everything you think. And I think that what's happening in your family, and by the way, it is a family. It's a broken family. I'm here because after discussing it with Dr. Phil and reading through the history of your family, I feel, and I believe Dr. Phil feels the same way, this family can be put back together. There's just a lot of work that has to be done.
Do you think you've ever genuinely been honest with yourself about what's happened here?
Probably not.
Your daughter Francesca just sat here and watched a tape piece where her mother said, I tried to abort her with drugs and it didn't work, but I was going to place her for adoption. So here she is with all of the aftermath for the entirety of her life. How do you think she should feel about that? What should she say to herself?
She should be angry. I don't blame my kids for hating me. I don't blame that. And I take full responsibility. I can't change the past. I can't. All I can do is try to build a future, and they won't let me. And I don't blame them for not letting me. You know, and it's like this last time when we got into it, we don't get along, you know, and they were both at my house. We got into it because they couldn't get their way about something. So they wrote me off. They left, whatever. My daughter says, lose my number. I told her, fine, lose my number too. We didn't speak to each other, and I just thought, okay, we're going to go another year or two without speaking again. You know, and then I get a phone call at Dr. Phil's show, and I'm like, and it made my heart skip, and I'm like, there's a glint of hope. My daughter either wants to cuss me out on national TV, or she wants help.
What do you expect her to say to you?
I don't know.
You're wanting them to forgive you, right? You haven't even almost forgiven yourself.
Not even. Not even.
Letty says that you pick addicts at the sober house over your own kids. In fact, you said you would choose the addict.
This May on Dr. Phil, it's a month of controversial guests.
Are you on medication?
Minimal.
Because you're slurring your words. She threw a temper tantrum in the hotel room talking to my staff.
Am I going to get my word to talk? This is my story. This is just not what I came on this show for.
Dr. Phil exclusives.
Miranda Barber says she has murdered dozens of people.
The suspect's family speaks out.
She says she hacked a man to death in the front seat of her car. What has she said to you about that night?
Thursday, police say her ex starved their 5-year-old son.
He weighed 29 pounds.
And kept him locked beneath the stairs.
His face was black and purple.
The exclusive stories.
What did he tell you about the closet?
Then on Friday.
I
I posted an ad on Craigslist stating that we wanted to adopt a baby.
A woman named Annette answered it, and she had twins.
I just want to hold and meet my babies for the first time.
There's a lot of things about the adoption that just does not add up.
You think she's being scammed?
I do.
The birth mother's here to answer that question. Is she ever going to touch those babies?
That's Friday.
What do you do now? What's your job?
I'm at home. I'm at home right now. I'm waiting to go back to work in April.
But you work with drug addicts.
I do.
Letty says that you pick addicts at the sober house over your own kids. In fact, you said at one point that if it came between one of them and an addict that needed you, you would choose the addict.
I didn't mean it like that, but
How
okay.
did you mean it?
Well, I don't remember how the question was asked, but it wasn't like that. It's not that I wouldn't help my children. I've tried helping my children. I've tried. They won't let me, and I pretty much just whatever, you know. But it's easier to help an addict who needs help because we have a bond.
Stephanie says she's been clean for 18 months. 18 months is better than 17. It's worse than 19, right? Mm-hmm. She currently runs a sober living house for female addicts. Take a look.
Our Father, who art in heaven. I started a sober living home about 5 months ago. You guys mean the world to me, and without you, I wouldn't have recovery.
Our mother has definitely cared more about her drugs and her drug addict friends than she cares about Francesca and I.
My kids get jealous because I'm always at meetings. It's like I can't win with them. If I don't have recovery and I don't have these addicts in my life, I might as well go get loaded. The women there appreciate me more than my kids do.
Awesome, thank you.
Mwah, I love you.
My mother enjoys the attention that she gets from other people for starting this sober living house, and then she neglects Francesca and I.
Okay, that's what she said. Now, I told everybody at the beginning, you've written a new book called Family, the Good F Word, and this is a family. What are you hearing here?
At this instant, I'm mostly sad that the three of you aren't sitting here and that we're not plowing forward and working through this. You're looking for that relationship, and I believe they're looking for that relationship. You're not getting it, and it looks like you're filling it with other people.
Probably.
Instead of the people that probably need you most. You know, when a man cheats on a woman, there are some good women in the world that will forgive that man. But they need to know at their core that he understands the damage he's done to their relationship. I believe that your daughters, who are angrier than snot, I believe that that's just a big cover for how much they're hurting. And I believe that they would consider rebuilding this family, but I think they're still waiting to hear from you the way that woman is waiting to hear from that cheating husband, that to the core, you understand how many pieces you broke them into. That's what I think they're waiting for. And when I heard at the very beginning when Dr. Phil was saying to you that you were speaking out of the things you've memorized through your program, which I'm with him, I think those programs are fantastic. But you're not here to represent the program. You're here as the matriarch of this family.
That's right.
And that's what I think your daughters need to hear.
I think it's important to know that when you say they come to your house, they have demands, you don't meet them, they get mad, they pout, they do this, they do that. Whatever they do, whoever they are, you have written on that slate of who they are. We can't talk about these young people as though you had nothing to do with who they became. You had a lot to do with who they became. So it's funny, they don't hear what they want to hear, and you say, what does she do? Lose my number, I'm out of here, and runs out the front door. You heard what you didn't want to hear, and what did you do?
I did the same
Here's
thing.
your handkerchief back, I'm out of here. Well, kettle, meet pot. I want to bring them back out here. Will you stick this time?
Yes, I promise.
All right. We're going to be right back, and these girls are going to join us, and we're going to talk about it. We'll be right back.
You can look at me crazy and think, I don't know what it's like to have kids. I don't know what it's like to have kids. I have never given birth, but giving birth does not make you a mother. No, making you a mother is being there for your children.
When I was doing drugs, I couldn't stop, and I know that my children think that I chose drugs over them, but I had no choice.
That seems to be her favorite excuse. I was a junkie, I was on drugs, and it's not an excuse. Nobody put the needle in her arm. Nobody held the pipe up to her mouth. My mother believes that she was a completely different person while she was using drugs, but she's still that same selfish, attention-hungry, two-faced person.
We've added Francesca and Letty back to the conversation. You want what from your mother that you're not getting?
I want her to be honest, and I want her to be, you know, that mother that she could have been. But she's selfish and stubborn, very stubborn. She doesn't want to partake in anything unless it has to do with her. And I cannot have somebody like that in my life.
And what do you want from your mother?
I want her to be at least more patient and understandable and stop yelling at me and blaming me for everything.
She yells at you, gets frustrated.
Yes.
Calls you names.
Don't lie, Francesca. This is your chance.
She called me a bitch one time.
Many times.
Many times.
Because I've been there, I've seen it.
When was this?
Does it matter?
No.
I mean, does it really matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Are you denying that you've gotten frustrated and called her a little bitch? Or
Okay, maybe, yeah. A little bitch. I think I have. I probably have.
Yeah.
I probably have.
And
I know I need to have patience with you. I know I do. And I apologize. And I'm sorry.
I just don't understand where it comes from. But any time we call you out on something that you're not right about, you just lash out. And you can look at me crazy and think, I don't know what it's like to have kids. I don't know what it's like to have kids. I have never given birth, but giving birth does not make you a mother.
No,
making you a mother is being there for your children. So yeah, you can tell me I don't know what it's like, but I know what not to do to my children and how not to treat them and how not to talk to them. I know what's best for me because I have always been there for me, always.
Well, this is what happened when Stephanie let Francesca move in with her at 16. Take a look.
Francesca came to first live with me when she was 16 years old. I was like excited, and then bam, that went out the window. She would wake up in the morning and she'd put her headphones on and she'd rock for hours.
Most of the time I listen to my iPod and watch TV at the same time. I really don't have any friends.
I had a wooden coffee table and she drew with an ink pen all over my table. Did you do this? No. My dishes started coming up missing. Have you seen this dish? No. She was throwing my dishes away so she wouldn't have to wash them. Francesca would get angry. She would kick my dogs. She would break things. She would punch the wall.
A lot of my sister's outbursts were because she felt neglected.
Francesca had a hygiene problem. I would tell her, you need to go take a shower. You're stinking the house up.
She yells at me and she blames me for everything.
My mother would definitely say stuff to my sister like, if you don't knock this crap off right now, I'm gonna beat your ass, you little B-word.
My mom's nicer to the dogs than she is to her children.
I came home from work one day and Letty and Francesca were at my house. They were being snotty to me. And I just remember being so angry, grabbing the dresser drawers from Francesca's dresser and throwing them on the porch and telling them both, get the out of my house. They were rude and disrespectful.
Okay, that wasn't the last time Stephanie kicked Francesca out. Francesca moved in a second time a few years later, but things spiraled completely out of control. Let's take a look at that, get it all on the table, and then we'll start talking.
The last time I saw my mother was October of 2013. I cut off communication after I found out she abandoned Francesca at the halfway home.
Just this last year, Francesca came to live with us for 6 months. She was on her best behavior for about a month. Then she started with internet dating. I told her she was not allowed to internet date, and then Francesca freaked out. So I said, the only other place that I can put you where I know you'll be safe is in my transitional living home. Do you want to live there? She got excited. She said, yes.
I never told my mom I wanted to live there. She just got mad because of my attitude. She was tired of me and she couldn't handle taking care of me.
Francesca called me and told me Mom left me at this druggie house. And I was like, what? I told my mom, well, I'm gonna go get her because that's not right. And she threatened to call the cops on me and have me arrested if I went on the property.
When my mother dropped me off at the halfway house, I thought to my mind, I'm done with my mother. I don't want her at any part of my life at all. I'm just done.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Everything is related around my OCD.
Trapped by her rituals.
You are obsessed with your sister.
It's like a revolving tape in my head. I'm gonna be prettier. I'm gonna be prettier. Prettier, prettier, prettier.
That's tomorrow.
Troy, in your book, you have a life-changing action plan, and step one, you say, is determining what's wrong. If someone came to you with this situation, what would you tell them what's wrong?
I'd tell them to go seek counseling. That's, or call your sponsor. I'm not a counselor. I don't have
no
a
idea
PhD.
what's wrong here.
Oh, I absolutely know. There's no respect.
Troy, I'll let you answer that question.
It's weird to me that as I listen to each of the things that are frustrating each one of you, there's somewhat insignificant issues on the surface. I mean, you know, you hear that phrase about there being an elephant in the room. Well, it's like there's an elephant in your family, and you're all arguing about if he's the one that's drinking all the milk. That's not the point. The point is there's a friggin' elephant in the family. And I'm just curious, have you and your mom ever sat down, just you and her, and has she talked to you and said, I did a horrible thing. Everything that happened in our past, I said the everything word, was because of my choices. I'm terribly sorry. It should have never happened. You did nothing to deserve this. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to make it right by you. Have you had that conversation?
Not that I can recall, but if we had that conversation, I can't say that I would be willing to accept that. She's not open to learning how to be a mother.
Okay, do this for me. Stand up. Stand up. You come over here. Sit here. You sit here.
Okay.
Okay? Now, this is role reversal. You are Stephanie, and you are speaking to your daughters here. What is it that needs to happen? Go.
I'm sorry for using drugs. I don't know what made me use them, but I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that I put you girls through what I put you through. I'm sorry that you had to experience the foster care system.
Go on.
I'm sorry that I don't know how to be a mother.
Go on.
I'm sorry that I go out of my way to disrespect you and hurt you and say mean things because I don't like what you say to me. And I don't like how you try to counsel me as a mother because you don't know what it's like to have children. I do.
Tell her how you feel inside when you realize that you tried to end her life. Be Stephanie. Tell her.
I feel like I don't deserve to have you in my life because I never wanted you. I feel like maybe I don't deserve to be here. I'm sorry.
So how's she doing, being you?
It's not how I feel.
What did you hear?
It's not how I feel. I feel more sad, more sorrow. She said it, well, with hardly any emotion, but...
It was without emotion. It was matter of fact. She cannot reflect what she does not see. She cannot echo what she does not feel.
I thought I
that
said
should
more
become
emotion.
that should become a to-do list for you. You just heard someone role play you in a cold, matter-of-fact way. Because that's all she sees.
I thought she saw more.
Well, but now you know. Up next, the only woman who has ever acted like a real mother to Letty and Francesca is here. We're going to talk to her when we come back.
You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or call 323-461-PHIL.
I cannot stand Francesca's foster mom, Donna. I think that while Francesca lived with Donna, that Donna coddled her. That's why Francesca doesn't have any life skills. When Francesca moved in with us, she knew how to work a washing machine. She did not know how to load the dishwasher. She didn't know how to cook anything. She didn't even know how to wash her body. She didn't know how to do anything. I feel that Donna is an enabler.
Well, Donna, thank you for being here. Tell me your history here. How many years have you been involved and provided what?
They've been in and out of my life for the last 11 years.
Last 11 years?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And that began as a foster mother?
As their foster mother, yes. Me and my sister together.
Okay. But now they've both aged out of the system, but yet you're still involved.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, they are part of my family. If they need a place to go, they need help, I'm there for them.
Right. And what is it that you don't like about her?
I'm very grateful, and I've told both of the girls this. I am very grateful that she was there when I couldn't be. But on the other hand, Francesca gets to do what Francesca wants to do. It's not okay.
I'm sorry, but if I had made the choices that you had made, which you can't unmake, that was in the past, and some woman had stepped up across an 11-year period to fill a void in my girls' lives, I don't think I would follow the word grateful with the word but. You said, I'm grateful, but.
Well, there's
I
resentments.
Think this, I
there's
think
things
that.
there. There's things there. I am very grateful. I've said it a million times to my kids. I'm very grateful to her and her sister.
She has said that.
But there's also things that I don't agree with, you know, and I have a right to not agree with certain things as well. You know, like my husband and I asked her, please, when Francesca calls you crying because she broke up with a boyfriend or whatever and she's calling you, quit coddling her. Please let her learn on her own. Let us try to work with Francesca. Francesca doesn't get her way. She's on the phone. Come and get me. I need out of here. Come and get me. My mom won't let me go on internet dating. You need to come get me. Let me put my cape on. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes Donna and her sister, ready to rescue her. And I'm like, come on. Let me try to be a mom. Give me a chance.
Do you want a relationship with these girls going forward?
Yes, absolutely.
And you're saying you don't know whether you want a relationship or not because it comes with chaos and drama.
Very much so.
And you think you may be better off without that.
Yes.
And you think she may be better off
Yes.
without that. All right, well, let's take a break. When we come back, I've got reinforcements here. We're going to talk about, is there hope for repairing this broken family? I always say I am the incurable optimist. Troy is an incurable optimist. He's written a new book called Family, the Good F Word. Is there a plan here? And if so, what is it? Now, you may be looking at this saying, wow, this is really a messed up situation. You may not have everything that's going on in this family, but I bet you've got parts of it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and Exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I'm back with Francesca, Letty, Stephanie, Donna, foster mother, is joining us. Troy Dunn is here. He's written a new book called Family, The Good F Word. How important is forgiveness in making this work?
Forgiveness is the other good F word. I consider it the key ingredient to a happy family, to a happy marriage, to a happy parent-child relationship. You have spent 30 years on drugs. You've been clean 18 months. The first 25 sucked like a broken vacuum. But the next 25 could be better. It really could be. And I think it's too soon in your life, Letty, and I'm speaking to you as a father because I have a child your age who's an adult. I don't mean child. 25 is too soon to write off an entire family. It really is.
I think what needs to happen here is there needs to be an acknowledgement that the pathology here is way over your heads. You don't know how to solve it. You don't know how to solve it. You don't know how to solve it. You need to be willing to bring professionals to the table that can help start to structure putting this family back together. And it will begin with tiny steps and huge boundaries. Because you're all adults, that means you have a choice about who's in your life and who is not. And the prescription for this, I'm telling you, this should not be a book you read. This should be a manual that you dog-ear to the point that it falls apart. Every one of you should read this book and use it as a manual. You should answer every question that's asked. You should do every exercise that's in it. And let me, as a gift from us to y'all, bring in some highly skilled professionals to support all of you, Donna, in your quest for healing this family. You're down for that, right?
Absolutely.
You would dive into that, right? Right? No, don't shrug.
I guess.
No, don't shrug. Don't shrug. You've got a sister here that has a huge stake in this. And if the family winds up being defined as the two of you, then know how to do that right. So don't shrug that you'll do it. Say, you bet I'll do it. I'll lean into it the whole way.
Okay, I'll do it.
You'll what?
I'll do it.
You'll what?
I'll do it.
You know what I'm saying. You got to, and you don't go anywhere you don't want to go. All right, we have to stop.
Already?
Yes, we're out of time. You were gone for part of it.
I apologize.
So it seems really short because you weren't here for all of it. I do want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Troy Dunn. Be sure to pick up a copy of his brand new book, Family, The Good F Word, the life-changing action plan for building your best family. It's published by my son Jay's company, Bird Street Books. And by the way, everybody in the audience is going home with a copy. Also, a special thanks to our medical team at Doctor on Demand for assistance on my team and preparing for the show. If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, an app we created, go to Google Play or the App Store and download the app. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. I'm going to get you guys some help right away. Okay? Ready? We'll get you guys some help right away. Thanks, man. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. She damaged her daughter.
My sister was a drug baby.
Then left them.
I want to make amends. I feel awful.
You don't seem like you feel awful.
Now.
You can give her that condescending dismissal, but that doesn't work with me.
Is she abandoning them again?
Letty says you pick addicts at the sober house over your own kids.
I already knew I was going to come on stage and get bashed. We can be done.
Two sisters, abandoned as babies, were bounced from family members' homes to foster care until eventually they were ripped apart from each other. This is younger sister Francesca. She suffers from liver disease, kidney disease, ovarian failure, hormonal imbalances, anorexia, and intellectual disabilities. Older sister Letty says she blames one person for their rough childhood. That's their own mother, Stephanie. Letty says it was her mother's selfish decisions that tore this family apart and damaged her and her sister forever. Take a look.
I started drinking and I started using methamphetamine at 14. The very first time I did methamphetamine, I snorted it through my nose. I knew right then and there that I was a drug addict. I was instantly hooked on it. When I got pregnant with Letty, I was 19 years old. I didn't use crank that often. I did do cocaine. The night before I went into labor with her, the next day my bag broke and I went into labor at 7 months pregnant. When Letty was little, I had already started back with my addiction and using methamphetamine on a daily basis. Letty was 2 years old when I got pregnant with Francesca. I was out partying, I was drinking, having unprotected sex. By the time that I found out that I was pregnant with her, it was pretty much too far along. I wanted to abort her by overdoing it with lots of drugs, and it didn't work. By then, I was injecting it in my arm. Over the years, I lost the veins in my arms, and I had to resort to using my neck. I was constantly using, nonstop, just over and over and over. When I went into labor, I remember that there was a lot of complications. I don't really remember too much because I was loaded, but I remember when Francesca was born, she had cirrhosis of the liver, chronic hepatitis C, enlarged spleen, she had bad kidneys, and slight mental retardation. The doctors said she would never crawl, walk, or talk. They told me she had fetal alcohol syndrome. I knew it wasn't alcohol syndrome. I knew it was from the methamphetamine, but I just kind of ran with that. I was ashamed. When I had 2 kids, it was overwhelming. The girls were in my way of getting loaded. When Letty was about 3 and Francesca was maybe about a year old, I decided I couldn't handle them anymore, and I pawned them off on my mom. So I told my mom, hey, I'll be back, and I took off.
Well, Stephanie chose drugs over her children all those years ago, and it's a choice that Letty and Francesca say they cannot forgive, and they certainly don't forget.
My sister and I call my grandparents Mama and Papa. My mother visited very sporadically. I would sit at the window all day and wait for her. My mother never came. When I was 9 and my sister Francesca was 7, we got taken away from our grandparents' house. We were put into foster care because my sister wasn't gaining enough weight. They thought that our grandparents weren't feeding her. But the truth is, my sister didn't gain any weight because she was a drug baby.
I've been in a lot of foster homes 7 times.
While Francesca and I were in foster care, I don't recall seeing my mother until I was 14.
I was sentenced to prison for possession of cells. When I got out of prison in 2001, I did get reunified with them, but I don't remember how. My brain is fried.
When my mom came back in my life, I thought she was a stranger to me because she wasn't in my life for a very, very long time.
My mother was very excited to see me, but I can't really say I felt a whole lot. My mother never apologized. She just acted like nothing really happened.
She has never apologized, not even once.
I wanted Dr. Phil to pull my mother's head out of her ass and make her realize what she's done to Francesca and I, because we've continually told her we don't need you. All you do is just cause chaos within our lives, and we're tired of it. We're so tired of it.
When I'm around Letty and Francesca, I feel like I owe them, and in reality, I don't think I do, because I think I've paid my price. I've changed my life to become a better mother for them, and they won't give me the chance.
Let me start with you, because I listened to the last thing you said in that tape piece there, and you said, I've paid my price, so they need to, what, move on?
No, absolutely not.
First off, what is the price that you've paid?
I did what I did in my past. I have made amends to them both. I have apologized several times. The reply to me was, Mom, it's okay. You were young. We forgive you. Then the moment that I do something that they don't agree with, I'm a drug addict. I'm a low-life mother. And it's like, it's this repetitive cycle. It's like they won't let me be a mom. I've been trying to be a mom to them for many years.